So Maryland at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the 10.5 point favorite at home in Camp Randall. I was really surprised at this line, honestly. And you know that I was not high on Maryland this year. However, I have really liked how their quarterback has played.
Yeah.
Malik Washington. He was a guy, Penn State recruited him. I don't know exactly what happened if they took another quarterback through, but this was a guy Penn State wanted, some other Big Ten teams wanted. Really talented guy. He's played really well. Maryland's still been a little bit dysfunctional, but honestly, Wisconsin has as well. And Wisconsin has been beat up by injuries. So I'm going with Maryland plus 10.5. That's just way too many points. I don't even know if this could be a 10-6 game. I don't know if Wisconsin scores more than 10 points in this game. So I'm going Maryland plus 10.5, and I'm making it my first Big Mountain ice cold lock for week 4.
I bet you if I asked you preseason if you were ever going to lock Maryland, you would have said, yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
But I am also with you. I am surprised at the line here. I would have thought it'd be 6.5 or less.
Yeah.
The fact that you're getting over 10 points is incredible. So I love the pick. I love the lock.
I was really thinking that this would be almost a coin flip game where it could have been even Wisconsin 2.5 point favorites just because they're at home.
Right.
Or maybe Maryland a 2-3 point favorite because they've been playing a little better. When I saw double digits, I was like, I got to take all those points.
Sure. I hear you.
Well, Oregon State at Oregon, you have one of the best teams in the country versus, honestly, potentially, and I'm not trying to piss any Beavs fans off, one of the worst FBS teams this year. How they performed so far this season, it's looking pretty rough for them as far as where they're going to get wins. Now, Oregon did not cover this last week against Northwestern.
Right.
Northwestern, they were scrappy for a while. They were running the ball well. They gave Oregon some fits. And at one point, Oregon had the spread covered, but then Northwestern came back, scored some late points. So they didn't cover in that game. But most games this year, they've been scoring. This is the border war. I think they're going to want to keep their foot on the gas and score as many points as they can and embarrass Oregon State if not border war, Civil War.
I was going to wait till you were done.
Civil War. The Civil War. They're always changing the name of that thing and whatever. So yeah,
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
you
it's
were
great.
On a roll.
I could tell. So this is the Civil War. I think Lanning. I think he's just going to want to score as many points as possible. I don't think he's going to want to take his foot off the gas. Oregon has so much talent, and unfortunately, this Beavs team, they've been decimated since over the last 2 years. Since what's happened, with the pack falling apart and then their coach leaving, and they just do not look like a good football team this year. Oregon might be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. So I'm going with Oregon to cover 35.5 points. It's a lot of points. It's right on the edge of I don't really like taking picks this big, but I think there's such a difference in talent, difference in performance, and I think the motivation, because it's the Civil War, Oregon's going to want to put up as many points as they can. So taking Oregon to cover the 35.5, and I'm making this another Big Mountain ice cold lock. Boom.
That's a lot of points. You don't like lots of points, but I'm gonna withhold my comment.
Okay.
Other than to say you made a lot of good ones.
Okay. The Apple Cup. Washington State pulled off the upset last year. This is a totally different year than last year.
Yes.
Last year, Washington State had John Mateer.
Yes.
Fantastic playmaker. He kept them in that game. I remember we each saw some of that game, and we were like, we couldn't believe how he kept making plays and keeping them in that game. They don't have him anymore. They don't have too much on this roster, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to crap on the Cougs. It's been unfortunate what has happened to them, similar to the Beavs. And Washington, man, they're just hitting on all cylinders. Their quarterback is playing well. Their running back, and I forget his name right now, he is just killing it. He's on the list as possible Heisman Trophy guy. They are just playing so well. Really, really talented team. And Jed Fish, I think, he's wanting to make a statement. He's wanting to really get the Huskies kind of back in that national conversation again. So I'm taking Washington to cover the 20.5 points. I thought this would be a bigger line. I thought this would be closer to 30.
Agree.
So I'm making it another Big Mountain ice cold lock for Washington to cover, the Huskies to cover 20.5 points against Washington State.
I agree. I am very surprised this line's only 20.5. Again, another game I'm going to be picking because I'm picking the pack side of things. But I'll say that right now. I'm really surprised that this is a 20 20.5, 20.5 line. So I'll hold my other thoughts.
Okay, all right.
I probably don't have many more than what you just said, but I'll hold them anyway.
Well, the next game, big game, another big interesting game. Undefeated Michigan State and undefeated USC team.
Yep.
Michigan State traveling across the country to play in the Coliseum in LA to play a USC Trojan team that has been firing on all cylinders. Jada Maeva, to me, it looks like maybe the best quarterback in the country. I mean, I think you could make the argument playing in this Lincoln Riley offense. This team is loaded, super talented, and Maeva, I mean, he's just running the offense brilliantly. USC really, really good running game this year. At one point, I think last week, they were leading the country in yards per attempt. The defense is playing pretty well. I think I saw somewhere that the USC defense is leading the country in sacks for this year.
Wow, okay.
And you can do that. You get a pass rush going on defense. That makes your entire defense better. They've improved each year since D'Anton Lynn has gotten there. I don't see a lot of weaknesses on this team. I mean, we'll see what they're, later on in the season, how their defense can hold up against like an Oregon.
Sure.
That's going to be a test, but I don't see a lot of weaknesses. The line, the line is 18.5. Mm-hmm. I was, again, very surprised by this line. I would have thought it would have been like a 23.5, 24, 25, somewhere in that range. So I'm taking USC to cover the 18.5 points, and I'm making it another Big Mountain ice cold block. Again, just love USC on this. Michigan State traveling across the country. Aiden Childs has been improved this year.
Yeah.
But he's done it against teams that really couldn't put much pressure on him, really couldn't get in his face. Last year we saw when he had any pressure on him, he made terrible mistakes. Well, he's going to be playing a team that's leading the country in sacks and improved USC defense. I think they're going to force him to make some mistakes. I like USC to absolutely roll in this game.
Boise State at Air Force. Of course, Boise with that big disappointing loss there in week 1. They come back, throw all kinds of points down Eastern Washington's throat, have a bye week. Air Force, on the other hand, goes to Utah State, and Utah State throws a ton of points down Air Force's throat, to the fact that I'm really questioning the secondary. I saw some people say, well, Calhoun said that they were going to struggle somewhat. They're younger. And, man, if we thought Utah State had a good passing game, Maddox Madsen and this offensive line and Boise has an even better passing game. I'm sorry, they do. That's not a knock on Bryson Barnes. I love the kid. Yep. I've been saying that for forever. Preseason, last year, hell, I like Bryson Barnes. But Boise State's a different animal. Utah State beat them by 19 or 18, 19, something like that. This line's 10.5. I think Boise, they have got to prove a point. They can't lose games anymore. Of course, they have Notre Dame, but they've got to go out and score a ton of points, get this thing on track. Line is 10.5. I'm taking Boise State, and maybe what might be a surprise to people, I am locking the Broncos at Air Force. That's right, I'm locking them at Air Force because I think they are going to roll with their passing game, Steve.
Yeah, I like the pick. I was kind of surprised at the line. I was really interested to see what you were going to do because it is a lot of points, over 10 points. But like you said, Air Force not playing that great, and Boise. I mean, even in that USF game where the score got out of hand, like in the first half, Boise's passing game was going. A lot of that game was like turnovers and big plays and that kind of thing. And now our impression of that game has changed.
Sure,
right. We saw that game where Boise might be in trouble this year. They just ran into a really good USF team that has just beat Florida a couple weeks ago. So, I like the pick.
All right, let's close our poll, and then I'll keep going. Oh, sorry.
You have so you want to make a over/under?
Oh, I do. Let's make the over/under here. I'm sorry. I'm also going to take. Thank you. I'm going to take the over 30.5 on Boise as well. Thank you, Steve. So I'm so confident in the passing game, and so down on the Air Force pass defense, I am taking the over 30.5 on Boise State's game here. Not locking the over/unders here. I'm locking the pick. The minus 10.5 is my lock. But the over 30 for Boise is another pick for me. I think they are going to score plenty of points in this game. Cap at San Diego State, a team that pooed the bed against Washington State 2 weeks ago. And Cal looking pretty good. I mean, they're putting up some points.
Yep.
The line here, I was surprised at. I don't know if you were surprised. 12.5. Yes, the game is in San Diego, but I'm taking Cal minus 12.5, and I'm making it a Big Mountain ice cold lock. I love this line. I love where Cal's at. I don't like where San Diego State is at. And I mean, I was surprised that the line was only 12.5. That's why I'm locking it. Incredible to me. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought.
Am I too positive on Cal?
No, I agree with what you said. I thought the line might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So anytime the line is smaller, I mean, than you think it should be. I think Vegas is still trying to figure out exactly what to do with Cal at this point.
Yeah.
There was very low expectations for them coming into the season. It looked like they were kind of a mess. They were kind of like in a shambles. But as they've been playing, they've looked good. And what's really big about them, they have this young quarterback. I think he's a true freshman or redshirt freshman. Been playing out of his mind really, really well. So I think you're right on there, especially. I agree with thinking that the line. I was surprised at the line. I thought it'd been closer to 20. I really.
Yeah, I'm at
maybe
20,
even over 20.
Yeah, I'm at 20 and 21.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm at too. So if I'm giving, if I got a touchdown plus leeway here, that's lock scenario for me.
Yep.
So this was an easy lock for me. I don't want to be overly confident. Mm-hmm. I see some people saying, Cal by a lot, SDU is terrible, and all that kind of jazz. But this was. When I looked at my slate, this was my first lock. When I was looking, I'm like, this is a lock. I mean, no brainer for me. I'm locking this game. The Miners versus UL Monroe. The line here, 5.5. I like what UTEP's doing. I like what the coach is doing. Malachi Nelson's only going to get more confident the more he plays. Great confidence builder here, playing at home versus UL Monroe, University of Louisiana Monroe. The line, in my opinion, only 5.5. I was surprised it was this low. And we're making it an ice cold lock, because that's what we do with the Miners tonight, Steve.
Boom.
Ice cold lock. It is an other pick, but I don't care. I like the Miners here. I think they roll in this game. I don't like what UL Monroe has coming to town here in El Paso. And I'm very comfortable with this. My third lock and our seventh lock of the night.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, and I like what UTEP has going on. I think they're a team that I think is going to keep getting better as the season goes on. Malachi Nelson, like you said, he just needs reps. He needs game time. He needs things to build his confidence. And I hope we can see that all through this season and have him come back next year. Because next year, I think he could be a real force playing in the Mountain West, getting a ton of experience this year. And I like them this week to win. The lock doesn't surprise me. And like I said, I think this is great for Malachi Nelson. Mm-hmm. Keep getting those reps. I mean, he basically played even with Arch Manning in that game. Just keep playing, keep doing your thing. I like the coaching staff there. Yep. I think they're doing things the right way. And again, I like them getting the win this week. But to me, for this year, as I've said before, the win-loss record is not as nearly as important as just building confidence. Give the fans something to be excited for and cheer for and root for. And I think the coaching staff is doing that.